I'm pretty happy to be in front of the camera today with a new mini Warbird to show you guys. This is a new lineup by Top RC, and if you ask me, it looks like it's direct competition with the little Eachine Warbirds. They have, I think, 3 in existence right now. There's a P39, Air Cobra, the BF109, I believe, and we've got this great looking little P47. These come completely ready to fly with the controller, the batteries, and to my surprise, there are even AA batteries in the transmitter, which is a first. From the looks of things, we've got elevator control surfaces, rudder control surface, ailerons, the whole shebang, just like the Eachine Warbirds, and a competitively priced too. So if you're a fan of the Warbirds and you're like me and you collect the whole lineup, now you've got a few more planes to take a look at. But the most important thing is going to be what we do today, which is a maiden test flight to see if they fly as good as the Eachine Warbirds. And I think you guys will be happy to know that if you're flying with the included radio, there are 3 flight modes, just like the Eachine Warbirds. So we have that great flight stabilization. And through the channel, through the years, we know that from the P51 up to the most recent thing, which I think is the 0, which we don't have, all of those Eachine Warbirds fly really well, and I'm excited to see that there's a little competition for them. Competition's great. It gives us more Warbirds to collect, and I just want to see if it flies well. Also, these can be bound up with Open Transmitter, Open TX. You don't have to fly on the ready to fly version, but I think it's only sold as ready to fly. So anyway, we'll have it linked in the description box below. Be sure to check out the other birds, and if you guys like them, we'll see them on the channel.
It's gone.
Wow, what a hand launch. That was wild. I didn't need that much throttle. It sure liked to climb.
There you are.
Okay, what a hand launch, Abby. Maybe we try that again? I don't know, that was almost disastrous. With throttle, this is climbing quite a bit. Now we've got a small breeze today of about 5 miles an hour or so. Let's just play around with it. That was a rough launch. We'll see what's going on here. It definitely doesn't act super stable yet. And I can feel the wind gusting up to maybe 8 or 10 miles an hour. I'm having to go about 0 throttle. Actually, I am 0 throttle just to nose this down and drop the altitude. So we're not off to a great start, unfortunately. As we get a feel for this, I will provide feedback, let you guys know how it's actually flying, but the confidence isn't there like it would be with the Eachine birds. So that's definitely what we need to be directly comparing this to, just because that's the only thing really that exists ready to fly in this size and form factor. Now this plane does come with landing gear as well. They just snap on and off, but I thought on this windy day and in this cold weather, we'd be better off doing a hand launch. I find myself pushing the nose down by quite a bit just to maintain this level flight. So let's see if we can actually trim that up. We should be able to, and that means I won't have to push down as much if we get it trimmed up properly. So see, we're fighting some wind out there, trying to get it to come back. Trimming that nose down as much as possible because you guys can see the climb. It just wants to keep climbing. So the trim may be the key to success here. But right out of the box, it just liked to climb. There, now there's hands-free, throttling up a bit more, and probably nose down a little more. That's all the trim I got. So we ate it all up on this maiden, but there's 50% throttle and hands-free, and we're maintaining a nice, fairly level flight. So in the beginner mode, this probably just has some climb built into it.
Where did you go?
I dove down pretty quickly.
Yeah, you did.
You got me?
Yep.
Okay, in beginner mode, when I throttle up, watch what happens. Okay, it's not climbing there. So that's just really strange. I think we just needed a lot of down trim on the elevator. Now this plane does have rudder control and aileron control, and that's nice. And yeah, I'm keeping it in that beginner flight mode because when we fly the Eachine Warbirds, they really are at their best in that beginner mode, and they're just not great out of it. So that's kind of what I'm expecting with this too. I think it's time to try the other flight modes. I'm going to gain some altitude. Throttling up. This is great looking bird in the air. It really does look great. I love this P47. Kind of nice paint scheme on it. And we're gonna go out of that beginner mode and just see what happens in intermediate. Feels about the same. There's advanced. And you can see it just doesn't like advanced. Let's try that again. Can I even pull off a loop? Sort of. And there, we're spiraling down out of control. So just like the Ishin Warbirds, these are so small and finicky. I challenge anyone to have any level of success in that advanced mode as is, without tons of tweaking or maybe flying on a more advanced radio or something. It's just not going to happen. Maybe on a really calm day we could fly it in advanced mode, but I'm not upset because the Ishin Warbirds are pretty garbage in advanced mode too, so that's okay. That's okay. They're just small warbirds. Now that we've got this zeroed in, you know, there's hands-free flight right there at about 50% throttle. It's really not bad. It just needed a little trimming.
I think you need to try to take off again.
Let's do another takeoff. We'll land it right in the grass here beside us. Abby, it's a great point. And, oh, throw up, and there we go. Okay. This prop and spinner snaps off. It pops on and off just like the Ishin Warbirds, and it actually comes with an extra prop and spinner and everything, and if you would happen to lose that or something. So, good to know.
There we go. That was better.
Now I eased off on the throttle some on that, and I didn't pull back quite as hard on that hand launch, and definitely better. So this plane just needed some down trim. I can't be too upset by that. I mean, it's an airplane made in flight, and if you can get something flying nicely just by trimming it up, and now you've got a great plane, then that's a good thing. So the only difference between this and the Ishin Warbirds and how it flies really is just, normally I don't have to trim those Ishin birds. This one needed a little trim. I've had the XK small birds. They have the Trojan and a couple other things, and they're very twitchy in the air compared to this. Look at that. Now that's the wind. But when I'm not getting wind, that wing flies nice and level. Flight stabilization works really well, both in and out of wind. There's some strong wind I'm fighting, and it's keeping it pretty level. So I actually think that this flight stabilization, it very well could just be the exact same thing that's in the Ishin birds, but when compared to the XK birds, this one feels more zeroed in. It actually feels like someone went out and flew it and, you know, modified it and tested it and made the changes they needed to. If you're seeing wing waggle right now, it's just because we're getting gusts of about 10 miles an hour of wind, and so it's you're gonna have that. It likes to cruise at about half throttle. That seems to be its like happy place, but here's a full throttle pass.
Nope. Missed that.
So, Abby, I'm down to the right there. I'll get it back over the runway, and I'll do a full throttle pass, nose into the wind. I'll be quiet so you guys can hear it go by. Here's full throttle. Here we go. And it's a little bit squirrely with the wind. Okay, a lot of climb. We're getting a lot of climb with that wind. That was wild, even in flight stabilization. So I'm bringing it back around. Just don't want it to be that high when we go by. As you guys can hear, it's a very quiet little plane, but because of the prop and stuff, here's one more. You know, it's not perfectly balanced, so you have a little bit of kind of vibration sound or whatever. Hey, it's got a very long flight time, even in this cold wind. It's like 25 degrees out Fahrenheit. And for that reason, my fingers and Abby's fingers, we're going to actually land this thing. Bring it in for a nice smooth landing if we can. And I'll show you guys a couple things about this plane here as soon as we get on the ground. Let's go nice and smooth. Your throttle, man, pull up, not bad. It's a very controllable airplane, even when you have such little movements like this. I wanted to show you guys, it is a singular aileron servo, just with 2 push rods, but it works really well, and the Ishin birds do this as well. The battery compartment is just right here up front. You could probably fit a slightly larger battery in here if you wanted to, and it just has the very popular, very common, cheap Molex connector type. These batteries are a dime a dozen. I mean, they're very cheap, literally a couple bucks or less. You should be able to find 5 packs and 10 packs online. Now, I'm surprised that it came with one step closer to getting ready to fly, the batteries in the radio. I actually swapped them out. I put in some fresh, new, good alkaline, like Duracell or something batteries, because I didn't know if I could trust those. They're very lightweight batteries, and I know that's not a huge deal, but the fact that they put them in there is great. You can get out maiden your flight a couple times and then put some new batteries in it, would be my recommendation. I like this. We'll have it linked in the description box below where you can pick one up for yourself if you like it and want to add it to your little mini Warbird collection too. And check out the other planes that they have as well. Top RC is not new into the hobby or anything, but I think they are new into the mini Warbird scene, and that's exciting. I'm happy to see that. So it'll be linked below. Using that link does help to support our channel and our family at no extra cost to you, so it's a beautiful system, pulls the plane right up for you, and a little kickback goes to us. Again, no extra cost. Now it's cold, but we got out here on a beautiful blue sky day in the middle of winter really, and for that and the opportunity to share this experience with you guys, I thank God. Also, a massive thanks to our Patreon supporters, because we couldn't do what we do as often as we do it without your amazing support. If you like this and you want to see more mini Warbird action, as I mentioned probably 100 times in this video, one of those Eachine Warbird videos will be popping up right about now. Thanks for watching. We'll see you there.
Bye.